Hi, my name is John Gold, and I just wanted to thank everyone who got this together, and Scott and Ray for coming out. My question is, essentially, there's been a lot of discussion of lies, and the big lie, the lie that has been used day in and day out by this administration to get us into Iraq, has been 9/11. And researchers, true patriots of America, have spent the last 4 years, 5 years, researching 9/11. And we've pretty much come to the conclusion that 9/11 was in fact orchestrated by elements of this government. And if that lie were to be exposed, all of the aggressions that America is doing right now around the world, I think, would end, essentially. And why is this taboo? Why is this not allowed to be talked about? And I would hope you guys could address that.
I, like many others, am frustrated by the 9/11 Commission's report, by the lack of transparency on the part of the United States government, both in terms of the executive branch and the legislative branch, when it comes to putting out on the table all facts relevant to the 9/11 case. Perhaps it's just my Marine Corps background, perhaps the fact that I was very close with some of the firefighters who died that day. I'm not ready to jump into the bandwagon and say that the government is complicit, the government did it. I'm not willing to say, to shut the door and say, I refuse to accept that debate. It's still an ongoing investigation. But I will say this, what I know is, regardless of who did what on 9/11, the Bush administration jumped right in and swing things on 9/12 and started using 9/11 to sell a whole host of lies and fabrications to the American people that got us involved in the adventures we are today. And that alone constitutes, in my mind, a felonious crime, because to tell a lie in the conduct of your official duties is a crime. It fits the title of high crimes and misdemeanors, thereby warranting discussion about the removal of these elected officials from office through the vehicle of impeachment. And I wish we could spend time talking about that as well. We have been misled by our government. Whether or not we may disagree on the depth of this misleading, I'm not discounting it, I'm just saying I'm not ready to join in there. I still need to see some hard facts that demonstrate that the government was complicit in 9/11. But I'll tell you this, the government is complicit in everything that took place after 9/11, including the lies that got us involved in Afghanistan, the lies that got us involved in Iraq, and the lies that are going to get us involved in Iran.
Yeah, I would agree with Scott. I think, in simplest terms, there's a cover-up. The 9/11 report is a joke. The question is, what's being covered up? Is it gross malfeasance, gross negligence, misfeasance? Just when you think, maybe you have to work in the federal government to realize this, but just when you think it couldn't possibly get any worse, it couldn't possibly be more bumbling and more mistakes, they haven't, okay? Now, there are a whole bunch of unanswered questions. And the reason they're unanswered is because this administration will not answer the questions. That, as night follows the day, leads to suspicions. And I congratulate and I applaud all those very serious people who are looking into this issue and trying to get answers to these questions. Never will I call them conspiracy theorists. I was young enough and naive enough to believe the Warren Commission. I know better now. And so I just want to reassert what Scott said, and this is the bottom line for me. Just as Hitler in 1933 cynically exploited the burning of the Parliament building, the Reichstag, this is exactly what our president did in exploiting 9/11. The cynical way in which he played on our trauma, used it to justify attacking, making a war of aggression on a country that he knew had nothing to do with 9/11. That suffices for me. I think Scott is exactly right. That certainly